Hello, everyone. Welcome. It is BS Radar time, hashtag BS Radar. Today, I've got with me a very special guest. I've got Marcus Chan. G'day, Marcus. How are you?
Hey, I'm Greg. Excited to be here.
Excellent. Marcus is founder of Venli Consulting. He helps B2B sales teams and sales leaders just get better at what they do. He's got a great line from Speedos to seven-figure contracts. Is that how it goes? Yeah.
Pretty close, right? Sold anything from Speedos to seven-figure contracts. So
I love it. That's such a slick line. So Marcus has got lots of experience, obviously interviewing candidates, and he's had a lot of chances to really finely tune that BS radar. So what have you got for me today, Marcus?
Yeah, absolutely. So I have a pretty simple one, right? So typically, when people are going to interview, they're putting their best foot forward.
Yep.
So I like to put them through a simulation of what the role is going to be, meaning specific role plays to test their skills on the spot to see if they're full of BS or not.
Yep. Can you give me an example of a role play?
Yeah, 100%, right? So typically, and I'll warn them. So I'll tell them, hey, listen, okay, I want you to imagine yourself at your current company, so you don't have to worry about, my lingo, my language, or process of your company, your service that you're currently doing. They say, great, awesome. I'm like, we're gonna go through 3 role plays. First one is gonna be a phone role play, and the situation is, I'm a cold prospect. We never talked. You're gonna call me on the phone, and we're gonna role play.
Yeah.
And usually I'll see them pretty quickly. They're like, oh, okay, all right. And then I go, ring, ring. This is Marcus. And right on the spot, we jump right into the role play. So we do the first role play, you know, and they'll tell me pretty quickly, right? And then I'll do a second role play, which is, like, hey, you show up to your first meeting with a prospect you never met before, and they just tell you, hey, listen, just leave me some information, obviously pre-COVID, and I'll look it over and I'll call you if I'm interested to see how they handle that, right?
Yeah.
And then the third role play is a closing role play. And I'll say, okay, cool. So let's imagine we sat down, you uncover all my needs, you present the perfect solution. I tell you, your pricing looks great, your program looks great, it's a perfect fit. Let me think about it and call me next week. How do you handle the closing role play? So I put them through all 3 role plays, and I tell them pretty quickly. And I'm not looking for a situation that if they say, well, I think I'll do that. I'm like, no, role play. Show me.
Yeah.
Show me how you do it.
Yeah.
So I'll see very quickly, instinctually, how are they handling those things if they truly were a top producer, a top salesman, like they told me earlier.
Yep. You know what the funny thing is? Like, I think when you've worked in sales for a long time, you would have done role plays so many times within your training and development with your sales coaches over time. But you know what? I don't hear of it happening very often in interviews, which is weird because it's such a good way for them to actually show you. Don't tell me about how you would act in a certain, the types of behavior you usually do. How about you just show me? I love that old ring, ring. I love when you're in the coaching room with the person, I like to just turn the other way and go ring, ring straight away, and you're into it. That's so good.
I grab my phone, like, ring, ring. This is Marcus. Let's go. And they're like, because psychologically they see me do it, right? And the super good ones, the ones are really good, they're like, hey, you know what? They go right into the scripting. I'm like,
straight into character. Yeah.
Right. I'm like, because what's happening is I'm forced them to jump in different parts of their brain, right?
Yep.
And the ones who have done it so many times has been burned in their brain, so they know what to do. It's instinctual versus someone who prepared answers to a question in an interview.
I love that, Marcus. That is an awesome BS radar tip. It's definitely one I'm going to steal and use as my own. So thank you so much for jumping on.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
If anyone has any thoughts or feedback, any questions about that tip, just pop your comments in the section below. Definitely jump on and follow Marcus. He does great content. Thanks so much, Marcus.
Appreciate it. Thanks so much.